And at this time, Esther has the Drash for us today.
Good morning. It's always fun when you have a Drash on a well-known story. Everybody knows the story of Noah. So I was looking to see kind of what aspects I wanted to bring out on the story, and I decided to go through the Bible and see. The Bible is its own commentary, so I wanted to see what are different aspects that the Bible itself brought out. So I looked up Noah in the Strong's Concordance and found all the little places it talked about Noah in other places of the Bible, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So the first aspect that I noticed it brought out in the Bible is just the character of God, that God destroys the wicked and spares the righteous. So we're going to start in 2 Peter with this thing that you need to know about God. He doesn't spare the wicked. 2 Peter is talking about false prophets and false teachers who introduce destructive heresies, deny their master, follow debaucheries, and exploit people with fabricated stories. And then he points out the fact that God did not spare the ancient world in Noach's day. He preserved Noach with 7 others, and he brought the flood upon a world of ungodly people. So if you're following your own way, the story of Noach is a warning for you. It's a good time to study your path. If you do not claim to be a follower of God, know that there is destruction in your path. If you claim to follow God, like the false teachers in 2 Peter, but you're still following your own way and leading others astray in the process, you also have destruction in your path. But if you're following God, this story of Noach is a comfort. The bad guys will get what's coming to them, and you will be saved, even in miraculous ways. Next, we're going to jump to 1 Peter 3. 1 Peter 3 brought out a neat feature of the story. He pointed out that God waited patiently while the ark was being built. God waited patiently while the ark was being built. Can you imagine if we served an impulsive God? One who decides things on a whim and wouldn't wait for us? Can you imagine a God who didn't understand us, who gave no grace for our human limitations? Can you imagine if he said one day, Noach, I'm destroying everybody else, build an ark. And then a week later he said, this ark idea is taking too long, flood them all now. No, he gave Noach a task. Noach obeyed, and God had patience while the ark was being built. We serve a God who is patient with us. Next, let's look at Noach in Matthew and Luke. We read the Luke one today in our Brit Chadashah portion. Both Matthew and Luke talk about the story of Noach and how life went on unhindered until the flood came suddenly. People were eating and drinking and marrying. Yes, God told Noach what was coming, just as he's told us about the end times and the Son of Man's return. But in Noach's day, there was not a long prologue in the daily news about the coming flood. People weren't fasting or panicking or giving up on life. Life was rolling along like normal until it wasn't, just like it's going to be for us in the end days. So that's another aspect of the Noach story that's important, and it's relevant to us because it foreshadows how things will be in the future before Yeshua's return. We also find Noach in the book of Hebrews. Hebrews 11 is kind of what they call the Hall of Faith, where it talks about different characters in the Bible that were examples to us of what faith is supposed to look like. Hebrews 11:7 talks about Noach's faith. It says, by trusting, or by faith, Noach, after receiving divine warning about things as yet unseen, was filled with holy fear and built an ark to save his household. Through this trusting, or through this faith, he put the world under condemnation and received the righteousness that comes from trusting, that comes from faith. The story of Noach is a story of faith. Noach received a warning about something that the world had never experienced before, and he believed it, as strange as it may have seemed, so much so that he built an ark. Faith like this is possible. The whole earth could have put its faith in God, but only Noach did, and he received the righteousness that comes from trusting. Noach's story is one of those examples of faith that we should learn from. When God tells us something, would we act on it? The next place we'll look is Ezekiel. We'll see what Ezekiel has to say about Noach. He brings out a neat aspect of Noach's story. Noach didn't just save himself. That ark saved Noach, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives, and all the pairs of animals that would have otherwise been destroyed. There are multiple people in the Bible who managed to save more than just themselves. Lot's children were saved with him, even though they were not righteous. Abraham spoke up to have Lot saved in the first place. Moses saved the entire people of Israel, you know. The most notable example, though, is Yeshua, who can save the whole world. Whoever in the world will believe on him and follow him. And the others in the Bible who saved multiple people, that was short term. They saved them from a flood or from a moment of wrath. But Yeshua can save for eternity. Even if it was just saving from a flood, though, it's a pretty neat aspect of Noah's story, is saving others, not just yourself. 3 books of the Bible list Noach in a genealogy. He's listed in 1 Chronicles, he's listed in Luke with Yeshua's ancestry, and he's mentioned in Genesis. So the thing that I noticed about him being listed in these genealogies, our choices affect not only our generation, but future generations as well. Pretty much everybody that exists came from Noach because everyone else was destroyed. So he's our single point ancestor. If he didn't exist, none of us would have existed. And so just thinking about, sometimes we feel like our choices don't matter or that we don't matter, but if Noach had not followed God, it would have affected all of us. And the last little bit of commentary is from our Haftorah portion today in Isaiah. It references the promise God made that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. And he sealed that promise with a sign, the rainbow. It's a promise that lasts forever. It's a promise for our good. And in Isaiah, he makes a similar promise in the same style, but with even more depth. Isaiah 54:9 says, "For me, this is like Noach's flood. Just as I swore that no flood like Noach's would ever again cover the earth, so now I swear that never again will I be angry with you or rebuke you." God is not a man that he should lie. He doesn't fail. He doesn't forget his promises. Anytime you doubt that, look up in the sky after a rain and remember the faithful, compassionate, patient, just, promise-keeping God that we serve. Shabbat Shalom.